What's happening, GoCo? Scott here with the Gaming Outsider. This week we're answering questions from all of you guys. Most are video game related, I promise. In news, we talk about the internal struggles of Google Stadia, and new games discussed include Cyber Shadow, which I played. Trust me, it's awesome. Habroxia 2, Hitman 3, and a point-and-click adventure called Encodya. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 331 of the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. It's Monday, February 1st. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my friends, Zack Parkerson.
I survived another week.
You did survive another week, as did we all. Or did we? Oh, yes. Our third guest is Mr. Chris Berensmeyer.
I'm here!
How's it going, man?
I'm alive.
We almost weren't going to have you on tonight. We thought you were going to be working, and it was going to be just Zack and I.
I got a surprise night off from work.
Nice. That always feels good, especially when you work a 24-hour shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ruined Scott and I's private time.
I know. We were going to snuggle. It was going to be good, but you had to ruin it.
Well, I mean, as long as Zack gets to be Big Spoon, I'm sure it'll all work out.
So we had community game night this past weekend. I was there for a couple hours. Still a little bitter. I didn't get to play Borderlands.
Nope.
Because like everybody but one person had it installed, so we didn't. But we wound up. What was the name of that game we played? Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock Galactic, which is a game I never would have picked.
Was this also on Xbox?
Yes, it's an Xbox Game Pass game. Actually,
my Xbox was MIA. I was frozen out.
Yeah,
and
Did
also
you play anything?
A series of Discord technical difficulties. I had a nightmare of a night.
Apparently, it sounds like it. But we had a good time. We were playing with Joel and Brian.
Yep.
CB and I were. I think Spencer was with another crew. They were playing Among Us, and eventually they were playing Killer Queen Black. I was unfortunately not able to make it back, but we had a good time. So, Deep Rock Galactic. Do you know anything about that game, Zack?
Do you mine asteroids or something?
Basically, it's like we played with 4 people, so it's cooperative, and you're these little. Is it politically correct to say dwarf? I don't know.
Well, it's not like dwarf like you're thinking, like dwarf like mythology type character.
I'm just conditioned to hear words that are potentially offensive, so I wanted to make sure. So you are one of 4 dwarfs, different classes, and you basically go on missions. We did 2 different missions that when I was on. One was to mine a specific type of material, and you just basically dig through a mine. That there's tunnels, but you can dig through anywhere and just try to find it. And then there are enemies that you have to fight off, but you have limited ammo. Joel knew what he was doing. He was kind of teaching us how it worked. You're going to need this in order to be able to put it into the feeder to be able to get more ammo if you need it later. And he made us skip the tutorial because he's like, I got you. We'll do this. It took me forever to get into the game because I had to download part of it. And I come into the game and they're in this hub world and CB is like tossing barrels into a flaming ring of fire, something like that for a mini game. And I'm like, what did I get myself into? But we had a good time with it, though. The second one I thought was more interesting, where we had to like connect all these pipelines. There was like a main hub, and you had to connect 3 different pipelines to different things in order to refine some material or something. But then once they're connected, then we got swarmed by enemies, and you had to also repair the lines because they kept getting busted and stuff. It sounds like on paper, it sounds like the dumbest game ever, but it was pretty fun.
For a 2 gigabyte game, I am really impressed with what they were able to pull off with this.
There's a lot going on, especially when you just get hordes of enemies coming at you at one point. I don't remember. Did we actually win that last one, or did we just lose?
I went full on beast mode with the turrets and saved everyone.
It was crazy. It was an interesting game. It's not one I'm like chomping at the bit to get back into especially when I have so many other games that I really want to be playing. But I didn't have a bad time. It was good. It was good to hang out with Joel. I was telling him when we got on. It's been so long since I've played online with him that as soon as I heard his voice, I had flashbacks to Division 2 because I played a lot of Division 2 with him back in the day.
Yeah,
and I think that's the first time I played with Brian. He was new to the Discord, and he was a real nice guy too. So I think we need to do that more often. I think I'm just going to set a date and say, who wants to come play Borderlands with me? Because I need to get some Borderlands in. I miss Borderlands.
The first one, right? The best one?
You know what? I have the remastered Borderlands on Xbox. So if you want to, I would gladly jump back into the original Borderlands with you. And I think CJ Moore has it as well, has been waiting for me to play. So there's 3 right there.
Dibs on Lilith.
I don't even remember what the other characters are.
Mordecai, Lilith, Roland, and Brick.
I think Mordecai was the one I always played. Was it the sniper?
Yeah, he had like the pet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mordecai was, I always liked the sniper for obvious reasons. And then
Roland, who will be
CB
played
would
by...
be Brick, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roland, yeah, go ahead.
Roland, is going to be played as Kevin Hart.
Yeah. How many people are so angry about that? And I'm like, all right.
It is funny because he was the straight, serious character.
Yes, I did.
The more like, hard-nosed military man. But I guess Kevin Hart. Well, I think what would actually be funny is if they have Kevin Hart, but they made him the straight man for once.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to see.
That would be cool. Yeah, I agree.
It's always my favorite thing in movies when they take a character that is normally typecast for a specific type of role, and then they do something that just doesn't fit with what they normally do. Like, one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies of all time was The Truman Show. Yes, he did some silly stuff in that, but the best parts of that were when he was playing a serious role.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, when he was in, what was that movie? It's going to drive me crazy. Huh?
The Diamonds one?
No, not the Diamonds one. Before that, the one with the pudding. No. With the pudding, he was trying to cash in airline flights.
Yeah. Wait, is this where he played Shadow of the Colossus in the movie?
I don't remember that.
Was Don Cheadle in it?
Don't remember Don Cheadle being in it, but It's been a long time. It was like an independent film.
Was it about him dealing with 9/11?
No.
Okay.
No. It was like there was a girl and oh my god, it's gonna drive me crazy. I'll figure it out by the end of the show. Somebody, I tell you what, Sai Quinones is screaming at his iPod or iPhone or whatever right now.
Is he a big Adam Sandler guy?
No, he's a big movie guy. He is a massive movie guy, and he likes weird movies.
Well, in that case,
and I mean that in a lovingly sense.
I hope Sai is also screaming that you should know whatever this Adam Sandler, Don Cheadle 9/11 movie I'm talking about is.
I don't remember it.
I only remember it because they play Shadow of the Colossus in the movie. Like, the Shadow of the Colossus was a part of the plot. Like, it was
really?
Part of him coping with 9/11 was defeating the towering monsters of Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, okay. Right.
Anyway, we're way off course now.
We are way off course.
I guess not. Shadow of the Colossus is a video game. I'm going to count it. We're good.
You know what else we did play, too? We played a little Gears 5, which is the first time I've ever played the multiplayer in Gears 5. I think it's the first time I played multiplayer since Gears 3, maybe. Go ahead, CB. Why don't you tell them?
Openly tell you, I am not as rusty as I thought I was.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's kind of like riding a bike.
I went 22-10, in a match where every single person in our group apparently hadn't played Gears 5 multiplayer because I was the highest level person at 10. We had 2 1s and a 4.
Punch Drunk Love.
I also
Punch
did not
Drunk
play
Love.
Gears 5. Punch Drunk. Okay.
That's the name of the movie.
I don't super think of that as a serious movie, I guess.
I mean, it wasn't an Adam Sandler comedy.
Right.
It wasn't a Billy
Neither's
Madison.
Big Daddy, I guess.
Big Daddy is totally an Adam Sandler comedy.
No way. If you don't cry at the end of Big Daddy, you're not human.
It's a good movie.
Anyway, Gears 5. So like we said, it's like getting back on a bike. Like the controls just feel natural for a second. But I am rusty. I wasn't far behind you, CB.
You weren't terribly far, but you died a lot more than I did.
Well, yeah, because I was being reckless and I was.
But is CB trying to humble brag here?
No. Here's the problem. We went up against a group that was all max level players.
Right. And they were playing King of the Hill, which there's no timer. It was just, until one team gets their points for a certain amount of time, right? So these guys figured out that we were all scrubs and decided not to even play the mission the way it's supposed to go and just came after us just because we were all just super easy targets. So
hey, for not playing a multiplayer game like that for years, the fact that I got a quad kill, I am thrilled.
It was fun though. It made me miss the Gears Tuesday. Gears 2 days. Thank you. There it is.
That is a tough sentence.
It is. Anyway, Zach, what you been catching up on?
Oh, well, yeah, my traveling through Arkham Asylum continues. I only need one more trophy to get the platinum, which I think will make the fourth time I have done this game 100%, which is pretty exciting.
Did you get my text today about my student's persuasive essay that he's writing currently?
Right, about how Return to Arkham Asylum is the greatest game of all time.
That's literally the title of his persuasive essay.
Yes, I told you to give that kid an award. Medal of some kind, probably.
You did. You had used a couple extra colorful metaphors, but yeah.
Did he?
You did.
No, you did.
Oh, that's possible. I mean, he's close to the best game ever. And that's been a lot of fun. And then I also finally, after owning it for years, started really playing Lego DC Supervillains.
Nice. Are you digging it?
I'm smiling pretty much the whole time.
That's cool, man.
Which is surprising because I don't smile a lot.
You're smiling now.
Yeah, because I'm talking about Lego DC.
Okay, fair enough.
Were you inspired by our Lego talk last week?
Yeah, I was kind of like mulling over finally picking it up, and then you asked for a topic idea, and I was like, yeah, now I need to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know, it's very. I mean, those games are always very charming, but the cast is very surprising. Like they have actors from Arrow voicing Lego characters. The old animated cast is there. That's just very clever. It's just a ton of fun. It makes me very excited for the Skywalker Saga as well. Lego.
Yeah, I may have to dive back into that one. Glad you're having fun, man. CB, what about you? Catching up on anything?
A little bit more of Lego Star Wars Complete Saga with my son. Still playing through that. And I started jumping back into, I want to finish up Miles Morales this week.
Okay.
Because I am really digging that game.
No 10,000 achievement points this week?
No, not this week. But hey, you know what? I'm off for 5 days this week. Let's see what I can do.
There you go. Did you see the achievement news that happened this month in January?
No, I didn't.
I don't remember the guy's gamer tag. I'd have to look it up, but I saw it on Twitter. Randomly created a brand new profile on New Year's Day. And 2 or 3 days before the end of January, he hit 500,000 gamer score.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, he basically took a month of holiday. I think he's from the UK. He took a month of holiday and did nothing but achievement grab for an entire month and wound up with 500,000. So it's not like he just sat down and did it. They had to take some careful planning, right? Get your avatars, get your Madden sports games from the 06 era.
Look at CB's achievement list to find out which ones he's playing. I mean,
I've been doing that hardcore for a few years, and I don't even have. I'm over 200, right, CB?
Yeah.
So I'm not even halfway to that, and he did that in a month.
I'm gonna have to sit down and do the math on this because I'm trying to think of how many games that are out there that are like an hour long for 1,000 achievement points.
Mm-hmm.
Because 500,000 in 1 month seems high.
I mean, there's the proof. You can go look and see when they show the date when the profile was created and when the tweet was made.
I understand that. I'm just saying I'm curious on how he did it.
I'm curious too.
Maybe
we should interview him.
Yeah, I mean that's almost like 24 hours nonstop for 30 days. Like that's rough.
It just doesn't sound fun.
It doesn't sound fun. But hey, he did it. He was probably like relieved to go back to work.
Right. Well, I mean, it sounds like he was working for that month.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know. I'm happy to say I'm proud of all my platinums.
I'm not. Yeah. I think I have a Miley Cyrus game in there.
Yeah. I'm not proud of all my achievements, but I am proud of all my platinums.
Is there an achievement that you're not proud of or that you're ashamed of?
Well, I mean, one of the Nier Automata trophies is looking up the skirt of the main character 5 times.
I was going to say mine was the Lollipop Chainsaw for the same reason.
Oh, yeah. I like that they both have the same achievement.
Well, it makes you especially dirty because when you do it in Lollipop Chainsaw, she actually tugs her skirt down.
Oh, yeah. 2B knocks the camera away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
These Japanese game devs know what they're doing.
I know, right? I mean, it's no. What's the name of that game you got on Switch this week, CB? Another.
Senran Kagura Reflections.
Oh,
my
yes.
God. Go. Do not let your children watch that trailer. But if you're curious, go look at that trailer and tell me that's not messed up.
This is a massage game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're trying to help a girl out.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, speaking of giving it all away, this month we had our giveaway for the month of January. Spencer is reviewing Hitman 3 for us. You'll hear him talk about that here shortly. But his copy we gave away to someone from the community, and the random drawing selected Jordan Derringer High, so congratulations to him. We're going to be getting him that copy this week. Stay tuned for February. We are in February, so we got to figure out which game we're going to give away. So stay tuned for that. There's lots of good stuff coming out. Doesn't that new Mario game, well, not new Mario game, but the remaster come out on Switch? I really want to play that again.
I think so.
Mario 3D World.
Oh, yeah.
Bowser's Fury.
It's coming up soon.
I'm excited about that. That's going to be a new Mario game for a lot of people, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. All right, we got a new trailer for a game called Glitch Punk, and also it was announced today, actually, that MLB The Show is available for pre-order for the March 31st release date, and yes, that does include Xbox. Also in the news, Roger Craig Smith is no longer the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog. We got freebies for PlayStation Plus and games with gold for the month of February. Biomutant has an official release date. We had a couple other notable deaths in the industry this week, and Stadia has had an internal shutdown. Quite a big news week. CB, where do you want to start off this week?
The death of Stadia.
This is big news.
It actually is. So it was announced that Google Stadia shut down their internal development studios this week for new games, which is kind of saddening to me a little bit, even though as much as I hate Google Stadia, the fact that there's 2 studios that got shut down without ever actually releasing a game.
Well,
Right.
and Jade Raymond was at that studio, and I can't remember the last time she put a game out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Left Ubisoft too, coming there, right?
I think she left Ubisoft a while ago for EA, but I think she left
Yeah.
EA but I think she was working with EA on that frickin' Ragtag game.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So she's had a bad streak.
Yes.
Yeah,
I gotta ask though, CB, why hate it so much? It's not like it hurts you.
So
I mean-
did you read the press release from the head of the Stadia division?
No.
Okay, so he made this whole speech, and in the entire thing, he talks about the partners, and then finally in the very last section, he talks about the gamers.
Oh.
To me, the entire thing from the get-go was an attempt at a Google cash grab that has just backfired on them.
Okay. I don't fault the business for trying a business strategy that's going to make them money.
True, but when you have multiple companies out there, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, that all put the gamers first, like they always talk about, we're here for the gamers, rather than a company that like, we're here for our partners first, and then the gamers.
Okay.
What's
So-
weird to me is if Google has a bottomless money pit, if they really why give up on the studio before they even have a chance to do something?
Later on in the article, they went on to talk about how internal people have talked about they didn't realize how much it costs to actually make a AAA game.
I believe that. Yeah.
And it's saddening the fact that a whole year and you shut down 2 studios that I'm guessing they had large chunks of games done. And these will never see the light of day. We don't know what they were.
Yeah, I wonder how much was actually done. Because I can't imagine Google was the greatest leader in the world. If they didn't
Yeah.
even factor in the cost.
If they didn't know.
Right, it's not even...
Well,
it's
I
not
think
even a secret.
the bigger bummer is that 150 people lost their jobs. I mean, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
That's a real stinker. I just said it's a stinker. I don't know what.
I mean, we were talking
Are
about
you
this.
55?
We were talking about this a little bit ago when I was like, oh, look, they're now giving this thing away for free.
Mm.
I said then, I'm like, the writing's on the wall, man. This thing's going to get shut down soon.
Well, I mean, there's a key point there, too. They took down the internal studios. The service is still up and running, and they're working on partnering with third-party developers and all that. Yeah, there's always that caveat of the for now.
I think they have announces released through April for now.
Yeah, and my guess is by summertime this thing's going to be dead. But
yeah, I know it isn't.
You're talking about like, oh, they're trying to build a relationship with third-party developers. Here's the thing, though. When you have two brand new, like, for the most part, stable next-gen consoles and Nintendo still out there, as another company, like, I don't want to get into bed with somebody that, like, still to this day doesn't have an exactly stable streaming platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very sad because there was the potential in the beginning. I'm like, hey, I really hope Google can do it. But as time has gone on, there's just more and more. I'm like, just let it die.
I think we've been feeling that way for a while. I think you were feeling that at launch, to be fair.
I was excited like you before everything happened because I had pre-ordered one. And then they had that first showcase where it's like, oh, look, buffering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, I'm out. If you want to sit here and debut this thing and you're already having issues at your launch, no, I'm good, man. I got more stable things to play on.
Here's the thing. I really think that what Google was trying to do is the future of gaming. I just don't. I feel like it was a little bit ahead of its time.
I mean, the business. No, I don't think the business strategy is. The $60 per game on a streaming thing, that's not the future.
No, not that. I'm just talking about just streaming in general. Like instead of actually owning.
I feel like we've been saying that for 10 years now.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, but I mean, it's just we're just not ready. Like technologically, we don't. I mean, they've proven it. If Google can't make it happen,
right? Oh, I think the problem is all these companies exist in California with high-speed internet on every doorstep,
right?
And they don't think about the vast swaths of the consumer base does not have that kind of internet.
Right.
I know you say like if Google can't make it work, but it currently does work. xCloud.
But that's pretty limited still, right?
Yeah, it's still pretty limited.
But it's working.
It's working, but Google is trying to do all of them. Like everything. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted it to succeed in the beginning, but like I said, over time, it's just gotten to the point I'm like, just let it die. It'll be another pin in the Google tried it and then killed it.
Release Lost Words. You hear me, Google? It's the only exclusive they had. I was really looking forward to it as an indie game. They locked it up for a full year. If Stadia just gives up, that means I could play Lost Words earlier.
All right.
Gosh darn it.
CB says it's going to be dead by summer. Give us a date, CB. Just a date that we can we can project a guess here.
August 30th.
I'm going to say June 30th. Let it die on my birthday.
All right.
It'll be a gift to me.
So Zach, is it die before or after that, or not at all?
Yeah, I think the end of August.
End of August.
Yeah, because I think is that the end of a fiscal quarter?
I believe June is
March,
June 30th.
June.
No, I think the end of September is.
July, August, September would be the end of a fiscal quarter. Well, I don't know what their fiscal year is.
I would say the end of September then.
End of September?
Yeah.
I'm going to say before June 30th.
Wow. Okay. I apparently somehow have the most faith in Google.
Doing the Price is Right thing, Dick?
Pretty much. No, actually, I
think it's going to go on June 29th.
Oh.
Just $1, Bob. I mean, but what's funny is we all are like, yeah, it's going to die. It's just a matter of when at this point.
I don't understand the business strategy of the streaming games at $60 a pop. When anybody hears the word streaming, they assume it's a buffet of content.
Right. Like we've all been conditioned with Netflix and Hulu and
And you can try to say like, well, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but I think the market is going to tell you that that does.
Mm-hmm.
You hear streaming, you think monthly fee for unlimited content. That's just the market.
Kind of reminds me
in
of
fact,
the
you still have to buy the game.
The Ouya.
The Ouya.
All
Everybody's
right.
so excited for the Ouya.
Everybody was. Is that like a tiny little cube too? Isn't it like super small? I think I've seen it on your shelf down there, CB. Anyway, Zach, what story did you want to talk about?
I'm very excited. Biomutant finally is real game, coming out May 25th, 2021. I've been looking forward to this game for as long as I've been on this podcast.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think you called that you were going to review that one 2-3 years ago.
In like 2018. Yeah, it's a cool looking game. I didn't realize the staff is only 20 people. That's why it's taking so long. Because you look at that game, it does not look like a 20-person game.
No, you're right. That's impressive.
Yeah,
what
I got hands on at E3 was very outside of the fact that my audio cut out and I couldn't hear anything. It was very fun. I'm excited. I'm excited for this game. You know what? It looks PS2-ish, but in the right ways. Very experimental. Not sure what I'm getting into. I really want to play this. So I'm excited that they are finally committing to a date. I've had the collector's edition of this game pre-ordered, I think, since 2018 or so.
Wow. Man, I can't wait to talk about PS2 games next week, but stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Yeah, well, what's the release date?
May 25th, 2021.
May 25th.
And I do think they'll hit it because they went radio silent for, over a year?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why they would fast track it now.
Well, maybe Tunic will come out on the same day, right, CB?
Oh, I'd be so happy.
Oh, man, Tunic's not coming out till 2028 at the earliest.
Shut up. I need it.
Let's see, what can I talk about? The February PlayStation Plus games, Control Ultimate Edition, Concrete Genie, which you reviewed, Zach.
I did.
And Destruction All-Stars, which nobody asked for.
I got Destruction Did you see they put out a state of play for Destruction All-Stars?
No. Did they really?
The PlayStation equivalent in Nintendo Direct. And they did so silently, it has less views than other games. When we get to the new games, I'll let you know. Most of the trailers for games I had never heard of had a higher view count than the state of play for a first-party Sony exclusive.
Wow.
That's pretty sad.
They are really throwing this thing out there to die.
Pretty much. But still, Control. If you haven't played Control, that's it.
Yeah, Control's great. I guess one way to get the Ultimate Edition at a reasonable price.
Yeah, there you go. Also, games with gold on Microsoft. Gears 5. If you don't have Game Pass. If you've got that, $30 for 6 months. Xbox Live Gold. You can now get Gears 5 for free. Resident Evil Remake. Dandara Trials of Fear Edition, which is a game I reviewed for the site. Interesting little Metroidvania with a twist. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, which is an Xbox original. Never played it. That game
is very good.
Is it? I may have to check that one out. And another one I missed, Lost Planet 2. I've never played the Lost Planet games.
I'm actually really excited for that Indiana Jones game.
Yeah?
Because I really do kind of want to play that one.
They picked a good time to do that, right? The month after they announced that
had to be calculated.
Yeah, that was totally on purpose. I think it also is worth mentioning a couple unfortunate deaths we had this past week. Mike Nash, who was a designer and concept artist for Horizon Zero Dawn, unfortunately passed away at the age of 36, and his cause of death is, as of this recording, unknown. Also, Jeanette Mouse, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Moss. She's a voice actor. Her works included the upcoming Resident Evil Village. I believe she played one of the sisters in the trailer that
she
Zack
did.
has on.
Yeah, it's making for an awkward situation.
Why is that?
Because they're so sexy.
Oh,
and this woman's not dead.
Did you see the tweet earlier today? By the way, not to make this a funny comment, when we're talking about somebody that's passed, but the Capcom released the official height of that woman,
the tall lady everyone's obsessed with.
Yeah, she's 9.6 feet tall.
Jeez,
anyway. The internet has never been hornier.
That's very strange. Anyway, unfortunately, Jeanette passed away at the age of 39 due to an 8-month bout with colon cancer. She also suffered from Crohn's disease and contracted COVID-19 last year. So,
yeah, it's brutal.
yes, condolences to the families of both of these people in the industry. I feel like there's been a lot of them recently. In fact, so much that when I read the news about Roger Craig Smith not doing the voice of Sonic, my heart kind of did a double flop and thought that maybe he had passed as well.
No.
But yeah, he's just not going to be playing Sonic anymore. Or at least that's what the tweet would lead you to believe.
Yeah, I think it has been confirmed.
Yes.
I want to say by Sega. And then just today they announced a new animated show for Netflix called Sonic Prime. So it kind of feels... And based on his tweet, I'm going to guess this was not his choice.
Yes, I kind of got the same thing.
Yeah, I think they want to reboot Sonic with a young, fresh crowd like they do every few years. What a choice. Roger Craig Smith, great guy, was on our podcast once. Not just for an interview. He was an extra chair on this show.
I think that might be one of my favorite, if not my favorite episodes. He made me laugh so hard.
Great. I got to tell him he's my favorite Batman.
There you go.
That was great.
Before we move on, I also just want to say MLB The Show coming to Xbox.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited.
Okay, I can't. It's old news.
I don't care.
I'm getting mad at the big me outlets trying to say this is a story. This is a story last year.
Well, I mean, the story is that we have a release date and it's available for pre-order, but...
that is not the headlines.
Dude, you understand, man. We haven't had a decent baseball game on Xbox in a long time. I know that I'm not a big sports guy. You're definitely not a big sports guy.
I do like baseball.
Man.
I used to live in Louisville, man.
2K11 was the last one.
Well, no, there was 2K... They did the 2K11 was the last one?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's been a long time.
Are you sure it wasn't 2K13? I don't. I guess
I think 2K. I thought it was 2K11 was the last baseball one, though.
I could be wrong. Regardless, the show is so superior that MLB 2K gave up.
Yeah,
pretty much. It's a solid series. It's the one game that I have a bunch of friends that actually come over when the new MLB The Show releases, and they're huge baseball fans. They don't play games often, but they come over and they either watch or play with me, and it's kind of fun because that's one of the only times they actually see current gen games.
Yeah.
So that's their only that's their only time seeing something. Yes, like that once a year they just see how much more it's progressed each year and year. And whereas Madden doesn't look super impressive year to year recently, MLB just continues to look amazing. I don't know.
It's much smaller count of things on the screen.
That too.
Yeah.
So you can make it look prettier. And it was MLB 2K13, by the way.
Okay.
It was the last baseball one.
Yeah.
Moving on, we are an independently funded podcast, which means we do pay for our podcast hosting services, website, everything on our own. We do have a Patreon that we ask listeners to contribute to on occasion, and we like to reward them by giving them something back in return. So anybody that contributes to Patreon gets the episode a day early. On top of that, at the $3 and $5 tiers, we offer additional bonus content. We've got games that aren't for us. We've got legacy episodes. We've got spoiler cast episodes. We've got drinking games. We've got what's the one where we like behind the mic, or what's that one, CB?
Go After Dark.
Go After Dark.
Yeah, Go After Dark.
After Dark.
After Dark.
But CB, what is currently available for people that might be interested in getting some bonus content from the Gaming Outsider?
Captain N and the Game Master, our retro outsider look back at that wonderful cartoon. Spencer's Community Top 10 Games of 2020. And I believe, isn't he doing a look at Watch Dogs?
Yes, I believe that's already recorded with Chris Owens, actually.
Yes.
So. All right. Again, if you're interested in helping us out and getting some extra bonus content, head over to patreon.com/thegocast, and we really do appreciate the help. With that, let's go ahead and talk about some of the newer games that we've been playing. All right, Zach, what is new coming out on the week? Do I get another break, or am I going to have to play something?
I think we're going to have a break, even though the stuff's coming out. Right at the top, Control Ultimate Edition, coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X and S on February 2nd. By my count, that is only the third game so far to be charging for its next gen upgrade. So
okay. Spider-Man being one.
I think the NBA, one of the basketball game, I believe, charged, and then this.
All right.
So that's it's in a rarefied air of dirt baggery. And then Destruction All Stars, which we were talking about a little bit earlier, the game Sony is trying to kill, coming to PS5 February 2nd. I don't understand this game at all. It just looks like Twisted Metal, but without the branding.
Mm-hmm.
And then Space Shooter Habroxia 2 comes to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and would you believe it, the PlayStation Vita on February 3rd. I didn't even know Sony was still allowing Vita games.
I didn't either. I'm kind of confused by that one.
Yeah, I think physical. If there is a physical version of the Vita, CB better get on it. Blue Fire is an intense looking platformer coming to Switch and PC February 4th. PS2 style game Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood, based on the very popular pen and paper RPG. It's going to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PC, and February 4th. Kinetic Edge is a marble racer with Tron-like visuals.
Marble?
Marble.
Marvel?
Marble, like a pinball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said Marvel Racer. I was getting a little excited for a
car,
minute.
like a kart racer. That'd be cool. Go to PC February 5th. And then big week for Team Ninja because the Neo collection coming to PS5 February 5th. You can buy either Neo 1 or 2 separately or together with a discount in the collection. And then Neo 2, the complete edition. That's Neo 2 with all the DLC coming to PS4 and PC on February 5th. Anything calling out to you, gentlemen?
Blue Fire.
I think Blue Fire looks sick.
It looks really good.
I am surprised at how good Blue Fire looks.
I probably won't play any of them.
Okay.
I mean, there's one that we're planning for review a little bit, but I'm most intrigued by Habroxia 2 just after reading your review.
Yeah, I think
Zack.
the two of yous would enjoy it. It's also only $10.
Mm-hmm.
Deal. I'm in.
Yeah, but I'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, Scott, you've been playing Cyber Shadow on Xbox Series X, which is somehow not made by the Messenger team.
No, it's not. It's I'm gonna feel really bad. I can't remember the name of the developer, but it's from Yacht Club Games. But
they're publishing it. Yeah,
they're publishing it. Yeah,
big distinction. You say Yacht Club developed something, I think everyone would notice.
Right. Yeah. Oh my goodness, guys! I freaking love this game so much. Oh, Cyber Shadow is fantastic. It is equal parts Ninja Gaiden, Mega Man, Mega Man X, for that matter. The one down thing I will say about it is I have no idea what the hell is going on in the story in this game.
It doesn't look like a game where that matters.
It doesn't, but they do so many cutscenes and there's so much like codec things to read. Basically,
I find that very surprising. Both of those things are surprising to me.
I mean, it's not heavy codecs, like, you know, you're not reading a ton, but there's a lot of little ones to click on, and it just all reads like nonsense to me. Maybe I think a lot of it is I'm just so invested in playing the levels that I just want to get through it, and I'm worried I'm going to miss an achievement if I don't click on every thing that you can read. But anyway, this game starts out simply enough. All you can do is jump and attack with the katana sword that you've got. It's an 8-bit style game, 2D side scroller. Reminds me very, very much of Ninja Gaiden. Although I think this is not as hard as Ninja Gaiden. I think Ninja Gaiden is actually harder. With that said, this game is a little tough. But as you go through and you come across former members of your team, they leave their essence behind and they give you new abilities as you progress, which is really cool. Because you start to get new ninja things. Like the first one you get is a shuriken. And then you get like this ability to throw flames upward. And then later on you get the ability to actually dash. The downside that a lot of people are having with this is that you don't get some of those quote-unquote real ninja abilities like a double jump or the dash or, you know, dash through midair kind of thing until you get like to the 7th stage. And there's only 10 stages.
Oh.
I don't have a problem with it. Because the way this game is designed, each level is designed with the previous item that you got in mind, if that makes sense. You know how like when you play like a Mega...
that's great.
Yeah, when you play a Mega Man game, you know, you're going up against that boss, knowing you now have that new weapon equipped that is its weakness or whatever, and that's the fun of it. This one takes away the having to figure out which way to go and makes it completely linear, but the level design is exquisite. It's just really great and satisfying, but it never gets too difficult, at least to where I am. I'm on stage 8 right now, so I did not quite finish it. But man, is it satisfying. The bosses feel very old school, original NES, SNES era bosses. You know, find the weak spot, memorize the patterns, but they never feel super grindy. There always seems to be a little thing that you can do to make it better. I don't know. It's just that almost feels like a cheat, but it's not a cheat. It's just like you're just figuring out some kind of extra pattern. It's really clever.
Are there any incentives to replay levels, or is it just straight shoot through it?
There are definitely incentives to replay. I don't know about speedruns yet. I haven't seen anything about speedruns, but there are collectibles. There are many hidden things. There are false walls. There are secret passageways to get extra things to make your HP meter wider if you find 3 orbs. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of hidden items. I found a weird Easter egg today that I have no idea what it was. I stumbled across a room that had a bunch of dancing robots, and I destroyed them, and there was a cat. And that's it. There was like a digital cat.
It's kind of messed up. You ruined their party.
Well, I didn't mean to. I jumped into the room, and you have like a downward attack, and I accidentally hit that, and I,
murdered all these peace-loving robots.
But then I left the room and came back, and they were back again, and I tried to just stand and wait and see if anything would happen, and nothing happened. Maybe I should have waited longer. But
maybe the Easter egg is just that they were partying.
Maybe. But I kind of expected like an achievement to pop or something like that, which would have been...
We've been conditioned for rewards.
Well, I mean, I feel like I found something. Is it just straight just to make me scratch my head? Then okay, I get it. But
I was saying that there used to be a day you would find an Easter egg. You're like, oh, that's cool. I'll tell my friends. But we are trained, and yeah, I would also be disappointed that I didn't get a trophy.
Right.
We were definitely trained to be like, well, I'm missing something if I didn't get a reward for this. I must be missing something.
Speaking of achievements, this game does the one cardinal sin.
Missable achievements.
1-pointers.
First achievement is 16 points. Next achievement is 16 points. The last one I got was 31 points.
Why?
I don't know.
These people are monsters.
I'd have to go look at my achievement score to see where I landed because I actually got 0. I'm far enough in the game that like everything I'm getting now is a rare achievement. You know how like when a game's early enough and if it's difficult, you just get them. But so I don't really know if they actually are rare or if they're hard to get. But it's impossible to plan ahead because most of them are hidden achievements. So I don't know if I'm going to land on an even 5 or 0, but it's going to drive me crazy.
You have no choice but to get every achievement now.
That or just keep getting achievements until they even up and then just, wash my hands of it. And
I do agree you need to be on a 5 or a 0, though.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way. But I do want to say there are some other really cool things this game does in terms of the checkpoint system, which... the checkpoints feel awesome in this game because the game is tough. It's sweaty palm type game. And you hit that save point, and it's just like this feeling of like, all right, I'm good for a minute. Just like I got there, I don't have to redo that section over again. But when you get to these save points, they also offer you the ability to spend the currency that you're collecting, which again is this essence that you find, which is scattered everywhere. But you have the ability to unlock like an HP refill or your SP refill or a special weapon, but they're only available at that save point. So just because you buy them there doesn't mean they'll be available at the next save point necessarily. And the weapons that you can get there are pretty cool. Like you get a little robot that follows around and actually fires projectile bullets. You get, standard 2D platformer type stuff where you get the ring of bullets surrounding you, or you get a shield. It's just cool stuff like that makes it a little bit fun, but then some of the achievements are to not use those special abilities, when beat the boss without having the special ability equipped or something like that. So, but it's a lot of fun. One of the cool things I do like the game does, it does a projectile block that you earn, which becomes vital. In a lot of games, you get an ability like that and you never actually have to use it. It's just there if you want it to, but in this game you have to use it to get through certain areas. There's a mini boss I came across recently that reminds me of the boss at the end of the original Contra on level 1. You know where it's got like that tower, and there's like a guy up at top, and you gotta hit the little red thing.
I actually really don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
I do. I know what you're
I know
talking
CV
about.
does.
Anyway, it reminds me of that, and it's not a boss. It's just like halfway through a stage, you got to do it twice. And but it fires projectiles, and if you time it right, you press forward right as a projectile hits you, and it creates an orb, and then you hit it with your katana, and it fires it back. And it's just stuff like that is really cool. The dash becomes regular, but where, like I said, some people are complaining that you don't get these like ninja-like abilities towards the last third of the game. I like it because it makes me feel awesome in that final third of the game. I don't know. I kind of like earning the awesome feeling. That's why I like RPGs sometimes. This isn't an RPG, to be clear. But you know what I mean? Like, you do the grind to feel like a god.
Sure.
In this game, the grind is the difficult levels, not due to poor level design. It's very well designed. But just because it's tough, and it's designed to be tough. And even though the levels still are tough with the abilities that I got, they're actually getting more difficult. The ramp up feels good because of the abilities that I'm earning. Guys, I'm really loving this game, just from the gameplay mechanic. It feels like an old school 8-bit game without the screen tear and flashy stuff. The controls are tight. Everything works the way it does. I would say some of the controls I wish were mapped differently. Like in order to fire a shuriken, it's not a single button press. It's like up and attack.
Oh, no.
Which I don't understand that, considering there are 4 face buttons, only 2 of which I'm using. So B and Y are not being used at all, and neither are the shoulder buttons. Now, you can map them. You can remap them wherever you want to. So you do have that ability, but it just seems weird to me to not a single button press for a shuriken or for my fire, or to dash you have to double tap, which with the D-pad on the Xbox One and Series X controller, it's not the best pad. It's not the the Elite controller, but
So it just uses the D-pad and 2 buttons?
Primarily, yeah, jump and attack.
So it definitely sounds like they mapped it out to be like an old 8-bit game.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm trying to
that's
think
interesting,
back
yeah.
now. I don't remember any other buttons doing anything other than like start select, which is obviously going to be there. But
So you'd recommend it?
I'd highly recommend it. I mean, it's free on Game Pass. You can try it out. Just know you are going to die a lot. It's a tough game, and I don't know if maybe I'm not. It's not like impossible. I think that Celeste is way harder than this by a long shot. But it's always fair. It's never unfair, and the patterns are always the same, so it's not like you have to relearn.
Man, it sounds like a Souls-like.
Yeah.
I still
Maybe
want to check
that's-
it out because it looks like Hagane.
Okay, I could see it looking a little bit like
Hagane?
Hagane. It's a really rare Super Nintendo game that is not fun.
I have fun watching Scott get destroyed in it.
God, that game it's like that is an unfairly difficult game.
Take Ninja Gaiden, make it a Cyber Ninja, and multiply the difficulty by 10.
Yeah,
I don't even like the difficulty of Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. But at least with Ninja Gaiden, there's like a pattern. You know what I mean? Hagane, there was no pattern.
That we found.
It was just all random. Anyway, Cyber Shadow, a ton of fun. If you like, I mean, I know Yacht Club Games is behind Shovel Knight, not the same developer, but if you like that style of classic 8-bit games that feel polished, I think that this one might even be a little bit more challenging than Shovel Knight in some regards. It's great. I'm seriously in love with this game. I can't wait to finish it. It's currently the game I'm thinking about when I'm not playing it, which we all know what that's like.
Yeah, it's the best.
And it's great because you can sit down and squeeze it in, 15 minutes and just get to a checkpoint and feel like you accomplished something. So this
Is it available on Switch, this game? Do we know?
It is.
Okay. I'm on a real Switch kick lately.
I can tell. I was wondering why you reviewed your game on Switch instead of Vita.
Yeah. Because I'm on a kick.
Anyway, yeah. So Cyber Shadow, please check it out. By the time we record next week, I will have it finished and kind of get my final thoughts on it. But bosses are great. Seriously, just like feel like just so polished, like a very well polished 8-bit game. I love it. Anyway, that's all I'll say about it. But obviously, I'm very.
CB, do you
excited
think
about
Scott
that.
loves this game? I can't tell.
I do.
He hasn't said it enough.
I don't know. There's something about like a challenging game that doesn't feel challenging to me. I don't mean that to sound like I'm being extra vain, but I know this is a difficult game, and normally difficult games frustrate me. But for some reason, games like this that are difficult, and I die a lot, I don't get frustrated. I power through. I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's a classic look, something like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is interesting because, I made the joke about a Souls-like, but those games don't frustrate me. They make me determined. But if I play a 2D game of a similar difficulty, I get frustrated and don't want to play.
You're the yin to my yang, Zach.
Yeah. Two halves of a whole.
It's interesting. I will have to give Dark Souls a try at some point. Anyway, Zach, talk to me about Habroxia 2, which you're playing on Switch. You talked about it in the games that are coming out this week. It's available on Wednesday. This podcast comes out.
Yeah. Yes, of course. New comic book day. New gaming out Saturday. Yeah, it's a space shooter, twin stick, side scrolling and vertical scrolling space shooter. Kind of alternates between the two.
You're trying so hard not to say shmup, aren't you?
Are shmups okay. I'm not as well versed in the classics.
I looked at the trailer. It's a shmup.
Are shmups and bullet hells the same thing?
Kind of, yes. Bullet hells are like a sub-genre category.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like all bullet hells are shmups, but not all shmups are bullet hells.
Yes.
Okay. I'm there. Now I got it. Like Ikaruga, that would be a bullet hell, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I think I'm getting it. Like a bullet hell is more about dodging the projectiles. Anywho, sure, it's a shmup, but it is a lot of fun. This is not normally my kind of game, these arcadey kind of shooters. But I had a lot of fun. It's the map design very much reminds me of Star Fox 64.
I read your review, and the way you described it made me think of Star Fox 64, and I was going to bring that up. I make
a point in my written reviews to try not to do the easy comparison, but it was so hard not to just be like Star Fox 64.
Uh-huh.
Because that's exactly what it is. It is the branching paths leading to different destinations, but you find the other paths by, finding a boulder that's blocking a path in a level, right? You blow up the boulder, and all of a sudden you got a whole other section of level here, has its own boss and everything. And if you beat that, then the world map branches off. So there's, a half dozen or more maybe routes through the game, which is fun because each route only probably takes you an hour or two.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to go back through and find all the other options. That's how you unlock the final ending and boss too.
Now, do you go through and get a high score, and then at the end, it tallies up your big score, and like a dog goes, "What?"
I don't think that happens.
Sorry, but, I love waiting to hear that sound on Star Fox 64.
Star Fox 64 is a stone cold classic.
It's great.
Yeah, but it's fun. All the bosses are named after Norse gods, which is fun, or Norse mythological figures. But there are RPG mechanics, so you can upgrade your bullet spread or your shot ratio, or your firing speed and stuff like that, which makes the game easier, which is good because early on I was about to throw my Switch against the wall because I'm just not good at this genre. I'm sure CB would kill it. He'd probably laugh at me about how hard a time I was having. But I bought a bunch of upgrades, and all of a sudden the game was too easy. So I sold a bunch of upgrades, and it was kind of like I was making my own difficulty, which was really fun for me, actually. And it made me want to experiment, so I'd replay levels with, a different amount of skills attached. And then you have special abilities like a giant laser or a shield, stuff like that, homing missiles. And you equip those either the front or the back of your ship because enemies come from both directions.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun to mix those up too. There's a lot of experimentation in the game that I wouldn't have expected from this style of shooter.
I'm actually kind of surprised because you were talking about you can sell some of your upgrades.
Yeah, so what happened was I invested all the way in bullet spread because I was having a hell of a time and I wanted to kill myself. But then I was like a god on the screen, so it was kind of boring all of a sudden. So I sold a couple of the bullet spread upgrades and knocked myself back down a couple pegs, and then it was more appreciable level of challenge.
Okay, 'cause I mean that to me that's kind of unique because I can't think of too many shooters that allow you to kind of downgrade.
Yeah, that's that's why it stuck out to me.
Yeah, I mean that's actually kind of interesting because I've never really thought about that before with one of these because usually it's upgrade, 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 upgrade.
Right.
So the fact that there's a downgrade,
Well, you can like respec your loadout almost.
A little bit.
Yeah, but-
yeah. I mean, you don't get the full currency back. I can't really remember actually, but it's a little bit like respecking. But at least because the levels are so short, the levels are like 5 minutes or something, so it's really easy to just replay. So to me, it was just like another way to experiment with the mechanics and set up that on difficulty, like I'm saying.
I'm actually like really I'm even more curious about this game now because I can't really think of another one that has that same mechanic.
I think you would really dig it, CB.
Yeah.
What was interesting to me from the trailer, and it took me about halfway through the trailer to realize it, you said it's a twin stick shooter. I don't play many shmups where you actually control the direction of your shot.
Yeah,
it's always like either straight up or straight across.
That threw me off for sure.
But I don't know why that's not a thing in more games that would give you more freedom.
I think it makes the boss fights a lot more fun than typical of these kind of games because they could like there's one boss who just kind of teleports across the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was a standard shmup, it would be really annoying trying to angle your ship, to squeeze in those shots. But because you can fire 360 degrees, it really opened up the battlefield in some interesting ways.
Plus, it makes sense. I mean, you can have a rotating turret on a. I don't know.
That's true. So. But I mean, you still have to like line up if you want to use your specials. So it's just it's. I was surprised at how much fun it was.
I'm guessing CB will have this thing purchased by the end of this week.
Probably.
Yeah, I would be. I'd be surprised if you don't play. It's because it's so cheap too. $10. I described it in my review as a perfect weekend kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
It is easily for CB he could get play this and 4 Far Cries, but for the normal people, you can get through this game in a weekend in a bunch of different routes, a bunch of different paths, and really see what the game has to offer by the end of it.
I was going to say, I'm actually like really anxious to read your review because it'll be nice to see someone else's view on a shmup.
Yeah, I think it's a positive review. There's also there is a story, which is kind of weird because they spend quite a bit of time with it up front, and they're like flashbacks. You play this pilot. She's going to look for her missing father. And they spend like a lot of time up front and like dealing with the flashbacks of he's like teaching her how to fly and stuff in her childhood. And then it just goes away for the entire rest of the game until the credits. So it's just it's really weird.
Does it resolve at least?
It does, but it resolves in a sort of way where I'm like, yes. Like I saw the cutscene and I was like, yes, okay, there must be more to the game now. And then there's not.
Nope, that's it.
It really kind of was like the story is kind of getting in the way of the game.
That's
which you have to know is rare for me to say.
That is very rare for you to say.
Like, it was weird, and it was an intriguing setup. They really did endear me to the father teaching the daughter how to fly the spaceship thing. So I was a little bit disappointed that it didn't go anywhere.
Why is it called Habroxia?
It's funny you ask. I had to ask the developer directly on Twitter because I had no idea. It is from the Norse word Habrox, which means hawk. So it's just a play on that to make it sci-fi since you're a bird of prey in the sky. And because all the bosses have Norse mythology. Fun fact about I don't know if this ever sticks out to you about Mega Man, it always does to me, that like all the robots have practical purposes in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They do tell you all the spaceship bosses you fight, what they were designed to do originally, which I thought was nice.
That's cool.
It felt like a direct Mega Man call out in that way.
I always wondered what the purpose of Sheep Man was.
Make wool for our clothes.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I think they had to start stretching it, but those first few Mega Mans, they actually made sense.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Cutman, Leckman.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend it. It is it's not going to knock your socks off. It's not going to reinvent the genre or anything, but it is a lot of fun.
All right, that is Habroxia 2. You're playing it on Switch, but I know it's also available, like you mentioned, on pretty much everywhere else. Xbox.
Yeah, PS4, Xbox One, Vita.
PC.
I can't believe it's on Vita.
All right, got another couple of reviews here for your quick. Spencer stopped by to talk about Hitman 3, which we did not get to last week. And also Thomas has a point-and-click adventure game for us that he really liked called Encodya. We're going to play those reviews for you right now. I'm here with my good friend Spencer Cushing. How you doing, Spencer?
Not too bad. How about you? And thank you, good friend. Whew, I feel pretty good about that.
Well, we are racquetball buddies now, so I feel like, we got to throw in the good friend there now, right?
Yeah, except for I beamed you in the face with the ball recently.
True story. Like literally, if I weren't wearing goggles, I think I would have been in the hospital because
I agree.
Yeah, like you smacked me right in the face, and
yeah,
there was a mark on my face for a little while there, but I'm okay now. So thank you for that.
I'm glad to hear that you're doing a lot better. It was a scary moment. It was kind of funny, but it was also scary because I know I would have to drive you to the hospital.
Well, I know it was because you were playing this game Hitman 3. You were looking for a unique way to take me out. So let's go ahead and jump right into Hitman 3, which you've been playing for us on PS4. And I got to tell you, I've never gotten into the Hitman games. I tried playing one of the older ones. I didn't play the new iterations, whatever, where everyone says they got really good, but I tried playing one of the remakes of the original games, and dude, I just could not get into it. For whatever reason, I could not. It just felt very slow and laborious, but you seem to be enjoying this iteration of it, so talk to me about it, and again, knowing me, I don't know anything about the story, so you may have to catch me up a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't know too much about the story because besides Hitman 2 and 3, I did not play Hitman 1. So you play Agent 47 and you work for an organization called Providence, who pretty much they send you off to go and assassinate elites, like the 1%ers, the ones who are doing the bad things.
Mm-hmm.
In Hitman 3, let me go back. At the end of Hitman 2, your handler, as I guess what you would call her, she finds out that you murdered her parents, but it wasn't something that you had full control of. So then Hitman 3 comes up, and you're pretty much taking down the Providence organization from the inside out.
So you're going against the people that hired you or handled you, so as it were.
Pretty much, yes.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. It's a complete turn around on how things go, but it's really cool because this one is very well graphically made, and it's a lot better than Hitman 2. The story mode is very very fluent, and I mean, I find some really cool things in this one. One of my favorites is, changing the disguises to blend in. You could you can become a cook, you can become a photographer, you can become a private investigator, which kind of brings me into one of my favorite missions. It's a murder mystery mission, which you and I have already talked about.
Yeah, it's kind of like a video game version of Knives Out.
That is right. Just like that. There's secret passageways from room to room. There are
murder.
Now there's like little holes inside the secret passages so you can see through into the hallways and see where people are at.
Oh, please tell me that you're looking through paintings and you're actually the eyeball on a painting.
I honestly couldn't tell. I don't believe so, because once you go on to the other side, you cannot see the hole anymore. It's only on when you're in the secret passages.
Gotcha. Let me ask you a question real quick. Have you ever played, I know this is random, but did you ever play Mission Impossible on the Nintendo 64?
Oh, of course I did. I even played it on the PlayStation 1 when it came out. On that one
this game reminds me of that, but obviously on a grander scale with a lot more options available to you, because Mission Impossible was very much you had to do these specific things in a specific order. You had only one path to do it. Am I correct in assuming that this is kind of like that, but obviously more polished, better looking graphics, and you just kind of get the freedom to do a multitude of different paths to get there instead of that one path?
Yes, I would agree with that. There's so many ways of killing people or finding your target, and you can find it just by talking to random people or listening in on their conversations, which I think is amazing.
Very cool.
So I do want to say like two more things real quick. Multiple ways to kill people. Some of my favorite ones were I killed a target by getting a sniper to shoot her, and it was her own sniper.
Nice.
I pushed someone off the ledge of the tallest building in Dubai. And
speaking of Mission Impossible.
Yep. And then my all-time favorite one, I crushed someone with a grape press at a vineyard.
Wow. Like you pushed the grape press on them, or you put their head inside the grape press?
No, it was a giant, like a huge, gigantic one, and it was hydraulic, and you were able to, if you had like a fuse, you could put it into the electrical box, and then you can lure someone in there, and then you can hit the button, and the thing just comes down and just destroys the guy. I mean, just becomes wine, pretty much, blood wine.
Gotcha.
But the last thing I do want to point out is there is a VR capability to this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it, and I'm going to tell you this. It is a big missed opportunity.
Why do you say
missed. It took me more time to set this up than it did to play through VR.
You mean to set up the actual PlayStation VR itself, or?
Yes. It took me, and by the way, I am using yours, your PlayStation VR headset. And it took me longer to set it up than me wanting to actually play it, because when I got into the playing side of it, it's very patchy. It's just very glitchy altogether, and it doesn't seem fluent. So I say it's a very big missed opportunity for them, because who wouldn't want to be able to use a VR headset and go and take fiber wire and choke someone out like you're a real assassin?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So I think that they need to step their game up a little bit, or update it just a tad to make it seem more fluent and easier to handle, because the controls are very wonky on that.
Gotcha. Now, were you using the controller when you play that, or do you actually use the Move controllers?
Just the regular PlayStation 4 controller.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I checked, and sure enough, it's just the controller.
Gotcha. Well, overall, it sounds like you enjoyed the game. Is it one you're recommending?
I do recommend this game, just not the VR side of it.
Gotcha. And we got to give a shout out to Jordan Derringer High, who actually won the physical copy of the game that you played through our monthly giveaway. That dude wins quite often. So shout out to him.
He puts a bunch of money into our Patreon, so we are glad that he's winning.
Well, I do want to make sure people understand that we do not rig the system. For that, it is still completely random. He does get some extra entries for that, but
that is correct.
Do appreciate his patronage there, and I'm glad you liked the game, man. One last question: I've not played the first two. Can I jump into this one, or do I need to go back and play 1 and 2 first?
I think the best bet is to play through 1 and 2, just so you can kind of get the storyline synced up with Hitman 3. Besides that, I haven't played Hitman 2 for a long time. I played it when it first came out, and I stopped playing, and I didn't get any of the extra stuff. So jumping right into Hitman 3, it was kind of easy for me. But again, I know the story a little better.
Sure. Sounds good. Again, that is Hitman 3, Spencer or Spency. Thank you so much for reviewing that for us. I really appreciate it. You have a good one, man.
All right, you as well. Thanks, Dave.
Well, hello there, Mr. Bex. How are you doing today?
Hello there, Mr. Scott. I'm okay. I'm a bit tired of doing a lot of stuff, but not as tired as you are, because I saw you shoveling the driveway today.
Yeah, we got about
from that. What was it? 3 meters of snow that landed.
We got close to a foot of snow last night. Yes, and unfortunately, my snowblower decided to break a shear pin, so I did not get to do the entire thing with my snowblower. I had to do much of it by hand, along with my neighbors. So, needless to say, I got my workout, which is getting me a little tired, but that's no fun. But I do want to talk about something fun, because you've been playing a game for us called Encodya.
Yes.
And this one comes from developer Chaosmonger Studio and is provided to us by Uber Strategist. That's the PR firm that sent us a copy. Obviously, this is a point-and-click adventure game. You're kind of our aficionado when it comes to there. The first thing that struck me about this trailer is how gorgeous the animation is in this. It's almost like a mix between cel-shaded and Pixar. I don't know if that's even the correct terminology, but did you find the same intrigue by how this game looked?
Yes, that is the first thing that I noticed about this game. Also, why it was so high on my wanted list. I've been wanting to play this game for quite a while now. They had a successful Kickstarter campaign in 2019. I did not back this because I was not aware of that campaign at the time, but I did see a trailer I think early 2020 somewhere. And yeah, it looks stunning. It is, as they describe themselves, Studio Ghibli meets Blade Runner with the humor and game style of Monkey Island.
Yeah,
so that's quite a high bar to strive.
Yeah, the Studio Ghibli one in particular. Is it My Friend Totoro or something like that? There was a I don't know if that's the right name of the anime, but there's a scene in the trailer where there's like a giant robot that's holding a tiny umbrella over the little girl's character, which reminded me of like a shot I've seen from that. I don't know. I even got like a Full Metal Alchemist feel because there's a human character being followed around by like a gigantic robot. I don't know. Tell me what the story is in this thing.
Well, the human character is Tina. Tina is 9 years old. She's an orphan and she lives on the streets of Neo Berlin. And she is accompanied by Sam 53, which is a robot she got when she was born. And he takes care of her, he protects her, he helps her. And yeah, that is a bit of a dystopian nightmare where they live in. Neo Berlin is in this world one of the greatest cities on the planet left, but as every great city, the common man gets trampled underfoot. The first thing you have to do is just basically get some food, find some oil for Sam. And while doing that, you come across something bad. And something that turns out to have a direct link to your past, even though that past is only 9 years ago. I mean, she is only 9 years. And that takes her on this tiny little girl on a very, very big adventure.
Gotcha. It sounds in the trailer like you're going to be saving Berlin from something. What are you saving the world from?
Well, that would be spoilers, wouldn't it?
Oh, okay. All right. But this is a point-and-click adventure. Is it standard, combine items, solve puzzles, or is there a twist in this one?
Yeah, the gameplay is very straightforward. It's very, very point-and-click. It's a lot of talking. Everything is voice acted. The sound is great. The graphics are great. The animations are excellent. Everything is there for this to be quite a big hit among point-and-click fans. There were a few puzzles that I was not a big fan of, but in general, it does a really good job also with having logical puzzles and and I don't mean logic puzzles, but puzzles that make sense and not moon logic, which especially old adventure games sometimes had, where you had to there was no way you could come up with a solution unless you managed to get in the head of the developer. Here, most of it makes sense, and the story is really good. And it actually made me emotional at the end.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it made me a bit emotional at the end. So, yeah, I had a bit of a rough start, and I came across one bug that almost killed my game.
Yeah, you said you thought you lost your save, or the game crashed or something.
Yeah, I lost a save. Yeah, yeah. I lost the last save I did before I quit the game to continue the next day. So I had to replay about an hour of the game, but because I had already played it, I could replay it in 15 minutes. I notified the developer. Another journalist also had the same bug, came across the same bug. So hopefully they can fix it and patch it very quickly. However, it wasn't game breaking, as in I could still continue to play, and I gladly continue it because the story is fascinating. It's really good. If you like this kind of adventure games, these kind of storytelling, definitely get this one. And you'll also find out what Encodya is.
Okay. That was going to be another question. I had no idea what the title meant, but apparently that's a spoiler as well. So I guess we'll just leave it. Me neither. Yeah, until I got about 3/3 of the game. The game is divided in 4 chapters, and it's good. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Sounds good. Again, the game is called Encodya, and you're playing it on PC. I know this one's actually also available on Mac, which is rare, so this is one I actually could play, because that's the only place I can play PC games is on Mac. So, Thomas, thanks so much for reviewing this one for us. We really do appreciate it. I think it sounds really interesting, and seriously, guys, go check out the trailer. It is in the show notes. It looks impressive, and especially considering, I think, Thomas, you said this is the studio's first game, right?
Yes, this is their first game, and I found it quite impressive. If they can keep this kind of quality up, then we have a very cool new studio that can supply us with great point-and-click adventure games. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, well, Thomas, thanks again for your time, and you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, all right, man?
You too, man. Don't worry too much about snow.
I'll do my best. You have a good one, dude.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Spencer and Thomas. And speaking of community, we got some new Facebook members to say hello to. Our Facebook group can be found at facebook.com/groups/thegocast. Want to say hello to Peter Hartwich, Brian Steffen, and Mike Tomaszewski. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying the community over there. Be sure to head on over to the community if you'd like to join the conversations. I try to keep it updated with news and any other discussion topic type stuff that we can. The people there are great, as are they over on Discord. There's a link for our Discord in the show notes. I want to say hello to Rex Kicks. Rex Kicks is a dude. He's a buddy of mine from back in the day, from my old Rotten Tomatoes video game forum days. I've known that dude for about 20 years now, and he finally popped over on Discord. He's my pinball homie. He loves Pinball FX even more than I do, if you'd believe it. So,
Wow.
yeah, and he's really good. Really good.
Does he have a Pinball FX table?
Not a physical one, no. But he actually is a streamer as well. And you guys know the game Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes?
Yeah.
That we've played? They do mods for that game. And he played one of the ridiculous mods, he and some 3 of his buddies. And they have a YouTube video out right now that has 3.9 million views.
Woof.
Yeah, which is just insane to me. So kudos to Rex. I wanted to give him a shout out there.
Wow.
He's a good dude. I just randomly called him. I haven't talked to him in about 4 years, and just like, I'm going to give Rex a call. And then he popped over and joined our Discord. So also, if you'd like to help us out, head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a review. Let us know what you think of the show. And it helps us get the word out about what we're doing, because we're always looking for new listeners. And then also our website, thegamingoutsider.com, where you'll find all of our episodes and all of our written content, including Zack's written review of Habroxia 2, which you just heard him talk about. So you can read that. It is available right now, and we'll have plenty more reviews up this week as well. Let's go ahead now and jump into our From the Outset In topic. It's the first of the month, which means it's also the first episode of the month. That means it's Community Questions Week. We asked all you fine listeners on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord to provide us with video game-related questions for us to use as discussion points on the show for our From the Outset In topic. I know this is Zack's favorite week of each month, so let's let him kick things off with our Facebook comments.
Wow, right off the bat, Stefan Roaming? Is that right? What is the weirdest, greatest game merchandise in your collections? I suspect you guys have good answers for this.
Game merchandise. When I hear game merchandise, I'm thinking like branded, like game branded stuff, not necessarily like games themselves. Am I misreading that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would say that.
I think the weirdest game merchandise I have, I was given for Christmas a Mega Man hoodie. That the hood actually is like a Mega Man helmet. So it's got like the goofy things on the side and the fin on the top of the head.
That's pretty cool.
I like it, but I feel really weird wearing it in public.
Kind of like your Zelda one.
The Zelda one is awesome.
Yeah,
I actually got that one for Christmas.
Well, Zelda, I think, is pretty well known.
Yeah, I mean, Zelda. I feel like people wear Zelda that don't know what Zelda is, like just because the logo looks cool. I don't know.
That's probably
maybe I'm
true.
wrong.
I don't know,
But the Zelda one it's not like, it doesn't have like the Triforce on it or anything. It's literally a sweatshirt designed to make it look like you're wearing a tunic.
yeah.
Like it actually cuts off at the sleeve and then has like flesh colored where your forearm would be, and then it actually has a bracer built in, and it's all tied together with string. And then the hood is actually like a pointed, like elf hat hood, which I always forget when I go out in public and I put my hood up and I realize that I'm wearing like a
Yellow fin.
Yeah, but it's comfortable. I love that shirt. Actually, I was gifted both of those by the same person for Christmas. So
Wow, this person really knows you.
yes, yeah. So that's I don't know. I got a Metroid Metal T-shirt from Grant.
That's cool.
I bought from him before I actually knew him personally. When I was a fan, I bought it. It was one of the original ones. I still have it. It's got a bunch of holes in it. I've worn it so many times. I love that shirt though. I don't know. What about you, CB?
My collection of Pepsi Twist bottle toppers. That are, yes, they are. So in Japan, there was a promotion from Pepsi Twist, which was like lemon Pepsi.
Yeah, quick shout out to Pepsi Twist. It was the greatest soda ever made, and the fact it was discontinued so quickly still pains me to this day.
Yeah. Well, in Japan, they were released and they had bottle toppers that came in like these little, like your soda bottle top, there was a piece that went on top of it. So there was a hidden item in it, and they were 8-bit Mario toppers,
That's
like
cool.
physical toppers.
Huh.
So they I have 18 of the set. There's like 25 different ones, but they were only available in Japan. And it's like there's like a Luigi one, a Fireball Mario, like the Goomba, and then like Bones.
Dry Bones.
So, yep. So there's like a bunch of them. I'm only missing a few. I actually want to complete the set. I think they're awesome.
I wonder why Nintendo got on that.
It's big over there. I'll actually have to take when this episode releases, I will take a picture of it and I will put it in the comments on
do that.
our social medias.
That would be interesting. I didn't realize you were going to make it video game related. I thought you were just like randomly putting Pepsi stuff out there, and I was like, that's cool.
He's way into Pepsi.
I don't know if I've told you this, Zach. I was gifted, and there's a gift that I got from Chris Owens of the Gaming Outsider crew. He actually went and bought me a copy of one of the Atari cartridges that was buried out in the
Alamogordo.
Alamogordo.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's not ET, it's Space Invaders, but it's actually got like a actual imprinted certificate of authenticity and it's like a metal thing that's like clipped to the bag that says like property of Alamogordo or something like that. And yeah, I thought that was I got a piece of video game history kind of.
That's cool. Yeah.
What about you, Zach?
I got a box of that Mario cereal.
Oh, the one with the amiibo in it.
Yep.
Of course, it has to have an amiibo. A prize in every box.
Well, the box is the amiibo.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know. That's probably the weirdest thing I got is that cereal that's never been opened because in my mind it's going to be worth something someday.
I heard it's quite terrible.
Yeah, it's not great. I bought a couple boxes. Actually, your box didn't come. I bought you a box.
It's not bad cereal. It tastes like every other cereal. Like it's
very bland.
What I'm learning is Scott has a lot of people buying stuff for him.
Yeah.
No, I bought that cereal box.
I bought you one too, though.
You did?
Yeah.
I paid you for it, though. You bought because they were hard to find. I paid you for it.
So, I think the only other thing on mine is do you remember the Atari High Score patches?
Yeah,
I've got a few of those. I want to find more. So if people out there know of the Atari patches, I'm looking for them.
Nice. Zach, do you have anything?
Nothing super weird. I feel like the strangest thing, I don't know, it's not even, like, the weirdest thing I can think of is I have a Max Payne 2 Dev Team t-shirt that I got off of eBay. But nice. I mean, I don't have, like, a lot of super strange stuff. You know, I bought Aiden Pierce's jacket to wear around town. That's about it.
That's just cool.
I still like that jacket.
Yeah, it's cooler than the game is. You know? So I don't think I have a lot of weird stuff, I'm sorry to say. I wish I did.
Your 2B statue.
But that's not weird. And that's also, that came with the game, so I don't even know if that counts. I have a 2B action figure that's so poorly made that it makes me mad every time I see it.
That's right. You and your Square Enix woes.
That store sucks.
CB, why don't you take the next one?
Sean Coates wants to know, do you collect Funko Pops? And if so, how many? And do you keep them in their boxes?
Zach is going to laugh. I have like 2 or 3 that were gifted to me.
That's funny.
I had a while back, I did a movie get-together with my students. I took a bunch of students from school to go see Ready Player One. And one of my students, her mom bought me a Funko Pop of Parzival. So I've got that. And then another student bought me a Mega Man one. So I think those are the only 2 I have. And they're in my classroom for obvious reasons.
Are they in the box or the other box?
They're in the box.
Of course.
Yeah. That's I don't know. I don't get the Funko craze.
I think people love to take a dump on Funko. I don't understand.
I'm not taking a dump on it. I just they all look the same except for like just the clothes are different. You know what I mean?
No, I have a lot of Funkos. I would say a few dozen or more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they look quite different. In the early days, they did all look the same. I agree, but now they do like a lot of different poses and stuff. And like, there's a sweet X-Men Gambit one where they actually have like separate cards that are encased in an energy projectile out by his fingers. It's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for me, I have quite a few. And I do not keep them in their boxes. Sometimes I buy them off of eBay, and they will ship to me in not only the box but a protector around the box. And every time I open it, I'm like, do you think the eBayer's crying somewhere right now, like shedding a tear, thinking that you were selling it to a fellow collector, and then there it is getting shredded open, throwing away the boxes and everything? Do you think that hurts them?
Probably a little.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, they got their money, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of Star Wars ones. I have every Lantern Funko Pop, except for the White Lantern.
That Black Hand?
Black Hand's coming out in February. Hot Topic exclusive. It's the beginning of a Lantern line exclusively being released at Hot Topic, so I guess I'm going to be a frequent shopper of Hot Topic now. Yeah.
How does that make you feel, Zach?
It's kind of weird, but I never thought we were going to get Lantern Funko Pop, Green Lantern Funko Pop, so I'll take it. You know, a lot of them. And yeah, I got a lot of Spider-Man ones, mostly from our listener, Tori Melching. Keeps sending me Spider-Man Funko Pops because they're all Walgreens exclusives. Got the hookups.
Nice.
Did you see the Miles Morales like spray paint one?
Yeah, I haven't.
I actually think that one looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the Spider-Man ones look cool. There's no question. It's just, as a DC guy, I have a hilarious amount of DC Funko Pops in general.
Fair enough.
CB, do you own any?
I have 10.
Exactly 10.
I know because I have the ones from Aliens, including the large 10-inch Alien Queen.
That's cool.
I love it. Like, those are my favorite, but I actually collect one specific line of Funko Pops other than Alien, and it's the ad icons. Like Twinkie the Kid, the Slushy Dog, like all the different old like ones like those.
Do they have the Taco Bell Chihuahua?
I didn't even know they made that one.
No, I didn't know if they did. I
don't think so, but I know like Captain Crunch, Tony the Tiger. I don't have a Tony the Tiger because it's actually like really expensive.
I think I did know that Tony the Tiger was rare. I didn't realize it was part of a set though.
Yeah, there's a set, like there's the Jolly Green Giant. I want those because I love like
so random
ad icons. I love them. They're actually in the game room. Like they've been in there since I redid the game room, but every time I find a new one, I put it up there.
Isn't Mr. Stay Puft? Isn't there one for that?
That's like the like really big one.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I stand corrected. I do have 3 of them in the box, by the way. If I can interject real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
I have Revan and Malik because they were an incredible Darth Revan and Malik from KOTOR because they were a laughably small print run and a GameStop exclusive. And I kept those in the box. And then I have Grand Admiral Thrawn in the box because when I bought him, he was $55, and then he was name dropped in The Mandalorian, and now he's worth about $100.
Wow.
That's the power of The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I
I was actually just at Target and they had the Slurpee dog, but they had one of the flocked ones that was like in the back, which is like one of the rarer versions. And I was just surprised that was at a Target and somebody hadn't grabbed it already, so I bought it, and that's like in my collection now.
That's cool. That's it. I want to see the Xenomorph, man. You gotta send me a picture of that.
Well, it's the Queen.
Yeah,
I haven't found they did the Neomorph, and I have Ellen Ripley,
awesome.
So I have Ripley and the Queen.
I really gotta play that Alien game.
You really do.
Which one? Isolation?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's embarrassing that I haven't played it at this point.
I heard it was too long, but
I've also
anyway.
heard the same.
Let's go to the next one. David Newman. Would you rather be the most intelligent person in the world or the dumbest person in the world? In each scenario, you are the same level of intelligence you are now.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
It is.
Isn't it?
I have my answer,
Go
but
for
for
it.
a specific reason. I would actually want to be the dumbest person in the world
Why is that?
because you can always get smarter.
That was going to be my answer.
So in a world full of intelligent people, it would aspire me to become better.
There's more room for growth if you are the dumbest person in the world, whereas it's going to be more difficult to grow exponentially if you are the smartest person in the world.
Well, if I was the smartest person in the world, I would have more devious plans.
Well, domination. You'd be
But
Lex Luthor.
But as the dumbest person in the world, I would aspire to be better.
Yeah. Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, you guys make a good argument. I guess being the most intelligent person in the world would be fun just for the power, but I think it would get old.
It would. I was just going to say the same thing.
But as for the old George Carlin quote, think about how dumb the average person is, and then realize half of the people in the world are dumber than that. So I'm gonna go with the dumbest because if the low end of the spectrum is me, and I'm not saying I'm a genius, but I don't feel all the way dumb. If I'm the bottom of the barrel, then that really does raise the rest of the world, and that's fine by me. I'm probably too lazy to get smarter, like your guys' plan is, but I'm happy with where I am now.
So if everybody were smarter than you are right now, the world would be in good shape, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would think it has to be in better shape.
Yeah, I like it. All right, Zach, you're up.
Lalamer Waffle asks, what serious topic hasn't been covered in video games that you'd really like to see a company take a swing at? Example with two of my own ideas, a miscarriage, Jesus, or the limitations that come with aging. There's a second question. Should I ask them both or should I break them apart?
Yeah, go ahead, ask them both.
Second question idea, what is a main character you want to see that you can't think of an example of? Example, a character with a minor disorder disability where the limitation isn't the main focus, ADHD for example, or even an older female lead. Fun fact, Lalamer Waffle, they're finally doing an older female lead with Returnal, which is going to be a huge bomb, but at least they tried with an old lady. It's going to be a
bomb.
Because they're charging $70 for a Housemarque arcade-style shooter.
Oh.
That is way too high. The game looks rad, though.
So what do you guys think? What's something that hasn't been covered?
Wow.
Can I cheat and say financial literacy?
Believe it or not, I was thinking kind of along the same lines, but I want to play a game, but basically Brewster's Millions.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was with everything going on in the news right now. I could see that, or Trading Places.
Yeah.
I mean, just think of all the educational games we have out there, or like sim-style games that exist, and there's not one that does financial literacy at all. Actually, the closest we got was Moonlighter.
To kind of ride the back on that one, find an entertaining way to make a game to teach me how to do my taxes.
Yeah.
It's hard to make that an action game. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, SimCity wasn't an action game.
Shoot 'em up.
I mean, you could do simulation games with it. Like, look at all those Age of Empires and all that kind of stuff. Like that was all management.
Yeah.
Make management fun somehow.
Wouldn't it be interesting? Never mind. I don't know. Some kind of walking simulator 9/11 would be kind of intense.
Yeah?
They made a bunch of movies, so it's not outside the realm of trying to tackle it.
Yeah, especially like in VR.
I think that would be a pretty
That
powerful
would be a
experience.
trip.
Mm-hmm. I think that you could do a lot of just things from history that you could relive.
Or
I mean,
even
that they could recreate.
in the VR context.
Mm-hmm.
You know what might be like an important game in this era of PC, I don't know, white privilege, is you do a VR game where you're forced to be like from the perspective of a slave.
Yeah.
You know? That'd be pretty intense.
Or, I mean, just not even a slave. Just live the life of somebody else's shoes for a
Right.
day and see what it's like. That could be super controversial
Yeah, that's true.
because who's going to voice act it?
I guess there's a lot of power in VR. Huh.
Mhm.
They should really find a way to make that mainstream.
Yeah.
I can tell you the example of a main character I haven't seen an example of. Because I've wanted this for, has to be a decade or more, is the action game lead male who's like trying to save his boyfriend or husband.
Okay.
I want the
Yeah.
gay action lead where it doesn't really matter that they're gay. Like I always thought when I was always trying to pitch my brother, and he never thought it was a great idea. Like at the end of the Gears of War trilogy, that Marcus and Dom should end up together.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think that would be something, right? You take a very action heavy, M-rated, blood and gore fest shooter franchise that tons of dudes especially are into, and at the end, the main character you love and adore just happens to be gay.
Right.
Like, is that going to like make people mad? Like, do they feel invalidated?
Of course it will.
But it shouldn't. It shouldn't make a difference at all.
You're absolutely right, but it would. And it would come, I think it would come across as you were doing it to piss people off. You know what I mean?
I would definitely be doing it for shock. Yeah. And the Gears of War example would definitely be done for shock.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're huge. Those dudes are,
Yeah. You could be huge and gay.
Yeah, I know.
You got to be careful.
No, I don't know. Let me finish. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see that.
Like, say you take IO Interactive's upcoming 007 game and you make him gay. You just don't tell. You don't even mention it in the marketing, though.
So what do you call that? A manonizer instead of a womanizer?
Yeah, I guess that doesn't roll off the tongue at all.
It doesn't. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, we got to come up with a word.
Yeah.
See, the
I'm
fact
at a
that we don't
loss,
have a
but-
word for it speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. What do you call a gay man that preys on other
That takes
gay men?
sexual advantage of other men?
Yeah.
Great question.
I'm trying to think what the male version of Moneypenny would be called.
Yeah, I guess I just always wanted like the John Wick style badass, but is into dudes.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
I'd be for
insane
it.
we've gotten this far and that hasn't happened.
It's gonna take, like you said, a popular franchise to be the first to do it.
Yeah, and I almost feel like the franchise almost has to trick people into it, I think. Which is sad.
Yeah. It's gonna, like you said, you're gonna get angry tweets and
Yeah.
faux boycotts and
Right. Yeah, if Grand Theft
Everything.
Auto 6 came out and said the main character was gay, people would say they wouldn't buy it and then it would sell 50 million copies anyway.
right. Well, they had Gay Tony was in
Well,
4, right?
But you
He was
worked
the
for
main
Gay.
character,
Yeah, you worked for Gay Tony.
right? But that was an insanely popular DLC, wasn't it?
Yeah. But would it have been as popular if you played as Gay Tony? I think it would have, but on the internet, do you think people would have tried to boycott it and stuff?
Probably.
Probably.
Man, you went a completely different direction than I did.
Where'd you go?
I wanted a game where you're trying to live through life like as a teenager, but with really bad Tourette's.
Okay.
So
Well, it's just like learning how to cope.
oh, so you're thinking like a VR type of thing where your character says random things that you have no control over.
Yeah, but like seeing like the environment around you, like I'm not going to say them on this podcast, but it would be an interesting concept to see like how somebody like that would have to cope with life, like walking through a city and just having that kind of unfortunate disorder. Because, you know, there's going to be people like, oh my God, you can't say that in front of kids. I'm like, I have a disorder. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can make that really interesting too, where you can almost frustrate the player as you probably frustrate the person who has Tourette's. And like you flash the button on the screen, you know, for half a second during a conversation. Like normally what would be a cutscene, right?
Yeah.
And you have to press triangle to not have your tick react. But there's just no way you're going to know. There's no way you're going to have the reaction time to do so. But so you're going to get like frustrated that you couldn't hit it in time. And now, oh my God, now this conversation path has been ruined. But like that's what it's like to live with that disorder.
Like either that or do it like a series of games like disorders like that. Or like have a VR game, but from the viewpoint of a schizophrenic who's having an episode.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because unfortunately, I believe that there are a lot of people out there that don't truly understand what having a mental disorder or an issue like that deals with on a regular basis. So having something like that to kind of educate the public on like mental health issues, I think would be a very powerful tool, especially from the viewpoint of VR. So maybe we would actually finally take mental health seriously in this country.
I mean, I feel like the biggest one that's touched on that recently was Senua's Sacrifice, right? Where it wasn't schizophrenia, it was...
Oh, that was like schizophrenia hardcore.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But the unfortunate thing is it was done in a setting that a lot of people didn't really kind of grasp the concept.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Because
make it a modern reality.
With the headphones and stuff, you really did kind of feel it. Which I mean, I know they worked with mental health institutions to really get that point across. But you're right. I hadn't thought about the fact that like it is definitely a Norse fantasy setting. So yeah, it is a little hard. It already distanced itself from reality in that way. That's a good point.
I'm going to back up a little bit on his and talk about a serious topic. Something, and this is kind of like just me brainstorming an idea, and I want to pitch it to you guys and see what you think. I want there to be a game that kind of is telling a message about, social media and how everything is listening to us. I want this game to, not until the very end of the game, reveal it that it's going to do this. And I don't know how you would make it work because you'd have to get permissions from the player to do stuff. But if you do it early enough on in the game, it won't matter. Where I want it to be like a wake-up call to people to be like, look, everything that you say on the internet is there. Somebody is going to see it. Somebody's going to read it. You can't really ever delete it. And something happens where you give permissions to the game at the beginning of the game to connect to your devices in your house, like your Alexa or your Google Home or whatever you've got. And then sometime at the end of the game, through your Alexa or through your Google Home starts saying things that it recorded you saying.
That's some Kojima shit.
Towards the beginning of the game. Like you, at some point it forces you to speak, like say something out loud, like Kinect style, which I know the Kinect isn't a thing anymore, but I don't know, do it with an app or something. And then at some point at the very end of the game, when whatever the story is, you come across the big bad that turns out to be an AI, and the AI starts like playing recordings of your own voice through your own devices in your own house, like on the other side of their house or the other side of the room or something, just in like a eternal darkness kind of jack with your head kind of way. I don't know. I don't really have it all fleshed out yet.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. Somewhat similarly, but not nearly as creepily. Do you guys remember Tearaway on Vita?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You use the camera for the game while you to help in AR segments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the game doesn't tell you that during sections it's taking photos out of the front camera, so it's taking pictures of you while you're playing.
Oh, really?
And then at the end of the game, at the credits, it's showing you all the scenes of stuff you went through and showing your reaction, like something cute happens and all of a sudden they pop your picture up in the sun during the scene and you're smiling down on the characters.
Like,
That's
you're like,
kinda-
"Aw."
No,
But it's kind of creepy.
it was kind of like, well, when it happened, until I'd had this conversation with Scott right now, I was like, that's such a cute little feature, and it really sucks that no one played this game because, like, I think that's just such a cool idea. But now I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I didn't really factor in that. Oh, that's actually quite creepy. That could easily been used nefariously.
Mm-hmm. People would feel weirded out that, like, you took my picture without me asking permission.
But they
You know
did it
what I
in
mean?
such a cute context that I didn't care. But yeah, no, I mean you're right. On a media molecule server somewhere is probably my face smiling.
I mean, come on, Scott. All you have to do is put it in the end license user agreement. Nobody reads those.
I mean, all you have to say when you press start is like, if you want to continue playing, you have to agree to us let it use a camera, and everyone's just going to be like, okay.
Right. But there are some people that will read it. I mean, there's
Yeah, and those people are slim though.
right. But I just think that'd be a way to just mess with you. Plus, you also have the idea that not everybody's going to have a device in their home. You know what I mean? So it may not work, but then for people that don't have a device hooked up in their home, then, it just does it in game. You know what I mean? You
could even just like
play through your headphones.
Sign in through this app if you want to play. You want to play this game. It's used for bonus features or something like that. But then really,
but it's got to be a way that, like, is done in secret so that they don't really know.
That's what I'm saying. To access bonus features of this game, download the app.
Mm-hmm. I just think that would be really cool.
I think it's a cool idea.
So, all right, who's up?
That would be me, I believe.
I do believe this is true.
CJ Moore, I wanted to ask all of you, and at Ashrack9431.
I think you could just say me, but continue.
Yeah, it's you. In particular, if there are any works of literature that haven't yet had the video game treatment that might make for a fun game, I've heard you guys say The Way of Kings could be a fun adaptation, and you guys really need to read the next 3 books.
He literally called me to talk me into reading the second book.
Are you going to do it?
Well, I mean, I have it on my Audible account. So.
Yeah, but are you going to do it?
Sure. It's been so long since I read Way of Kings, I've kind of forgot, like, the individual stuff about the characters. I don't know. Is it even the same characters?
I'll send you a link. I have a webpage bookmarked where it's just, if you haven't read Way of Kings in a while, here's a refresher.
Okay, yeah, send that to me. Maybe I'll do that.
But are there other book series you'd be excited to hear about getting made into a game?
I feel like we've done this topic a couple times.
Yeah. And the answer is tough because The Way of Kings is definitely the default answer.
Yeah.
I actually have a new one for this. So you guys talk about Way of Kings for a second.
Okay, no, I think that would be great. I think the rules of that universe are very cool. The Pershendi are interesting villains. Also, Brandon Sanderson has a sci-fi shooter franchise that like space, like The Last Starfighter, from what you guys tell me. And I think that would make for a good game, although it actually kind of looks like that Chorus game that's coming out, because it also has like Lovecraftian sensibilities. But I mean, otherwise, like, CJ, I appreciate you calling me out. It makes me feel like a reader, and I do read more now than I ever have. But most of the stuff I read is licensed, like Star Wars or Batman prose and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really read like a lot of original stuff. I think Discworld could make for a really good game. There's like 40 Discworld books by Terry Pratchett, and those have a fun tone where it's a little bit of almost a parody of fantasy tropes as well. Like, it takes place on a flat circle planet that's being held aloft by 4 elephants that are balancing themselves on the back of a giant turtle traveling through space.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so it's intentionally ridiculous as hell. And all the naming conventions and stuff are really silly. So I think that could actually make for a really fun video game. But otherwise, I'm not super well versed. You ever want to ask like what graphic novels I think should be a game? I got a bunch.
Right.
But
it's literature. You just said any works of literature.
Okay, yeah, Invincible, which has an upcoming Amazon animated series. I think would be an awesome video game. Any of the criminal books would be great Telltale style adventures.
I was gonna say Why the Last Man would be a good.
Why the Last Man would be phenomenal.
Would be a good Telltale.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I had one. I forgot. Space Bandits by Mark Millar. would be a very good video game. It's about these two bounty hunter chicks just murdering their way through a bunch of dudes. It's pretty cool. I think that would make for a good one. Monstrous is a comic that would lend itself. It's also kind of a fantasy epic like The Way of Kings, but a more Japanese influence. Like really cool. Saga, which is like the indie book du jour. There are a lot of options, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
At CB?
Hannibal Lecter.
Would you play as Hannibal?
Oh no, just as an open world, just rather than follow the books completely, just like what if he hadn't got caught by
Clarice?
No, he wasn't caught by Clarice.
Will.
Yeah, if he hadn't been caught by Will, like just open world, like you're the serial killer.
You're Hannibal.
Yeah, you're Hannibal, or like Dexter.
It could be like a Hitman style game.
I was gonna say
where you have to seduce people to figure out a way to kill them and cook them.
You guys ever play Naughty Bear?
Yes, I remember Naughty Bear.
It's like Naughty Bear, but you're Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. But yeah, or like the Darkly Dreaming Dexter, I think would also be fun.
Is that what?
Yeah, I forgot that Dexter were books first.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, is that what the TV show was based on? Which I've never watched, by the way.
Oh my god, it's great, except the last season.
That's what I hear, and that's always been a deterrent for me.
Well, they're doing a revival to fix it.
Yeah. It is honestly a really good series.
It's Showtime, though. Oh, no, it's on Netflix now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. You have to give that one a shot. All right. Drew Ross says, with the stock market in the news, which gaming companies would you like to have stock in? It could be developers, publishers, console makers, gaming accessories, etc. CB, you are the big stock guy between the three of us, I gather.
Nintendo.
Yeah, they're going to go up.
But plain and simple. Well, that and it's stable. Eventually, it's going to split. You'll wind up getting double your stock, and it'll rise again.
Right.
It's been a very stable stock. It's just expensive to get into. What
about bigger gambles that you could be able to get? You could get in for the cheap, and then you expect it to pay off dividends.
Well, unfortunately, I can't say GameStop anymore. I don't know. Like there's a lot of like I didn't know this, but I believe it's Konami is actually a publicly traded company on the Japanese stock market. I wouldn't mind picking up that because I have a feeling I have a feeling somebody's gonna wind up acquiring them at some point in time.
To do what?
Something.
Pro Evolution Soccer.
Somebody acquired Konami, then they could make Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid.
I mean, they do have a lot of stuff in their catalog still that they have the rights to at some point in time. Yeah, they may be like, hey, we're finally going to do games again.
Is Remedy publicly traded? I don't think so, right?
I don't think Remedy. I don't think they're publicly traded.
Well,
darn.
Like
I know Ubisoft is.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know anything about stocks, man.
I'm getting back into the game. Thank you, Reddit.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, I'm a mutual fund guy, so
is that the safe thing?
It's safer, yeah.
Yeah.
The analogy I used when I used to be in the industry was, buying stocks is like having an elevator being held by one cable. Whereas mutual funds is that same elevator being held by hundreds of thousands of cables. Which one do you feel safer?
Always like the stock market is astrology for men.
It is.
Drew Ross, the real answer is burn it down. Stock market's bullshit and should go away.
Well, I mean, that's kind of Reddit's point. Yeah, really. It was its initial point, I think. And
I love that we all knew it was just a bunch of made up nonsense, but we all just kind of let it happen because it was such this mystical world to us. And then Reddit proved that it was just all a bunch of nonsense, and it is in no way mystical.
Right.
is in fact a bunch of dirty people doing dirty things in a made-up game they invented for themselves.
I think the reactions are kind of hilarious. How dare you do the exact same thing that I've been doing for years?
Yeah. How dark? This free market shouldn't be free.
Yeah. The thing that cracked me up too is someone made the analogy again, because video game analogies, work for me. They said, imagine, you're playing with your brother on a video game, and he beats you all the time, and right before you win, he turns the game off.
Yeah,
that's what's happened this past week, which I thought was pretty interesting. So.
I wish I had a more insightful answer, and I just don't. I don't know who is traded, who is not. I mean, Activision. I feel like getting Activision in one of its down years, once they burn a franchise, would probably be smart because they'll always come up with something new. Maybe EA right now, because they can't be doing super hot.
I was just going to say EA as well,
because they just lost Star Wars, and I don't really know what bigger. They don't have
they didn't lose Star Wars. They just lost the exclusivity.
Yes, but that devalues them in the market.
Sure,
but at the same time, EA still does well over the fact that they do all the friggin' sports games.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That helps you make it stable. I'm just saying right now might be a smart time to buy. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, they're still a pretty expensive buy-in because they're like almost $150.
Yeah,
like a share.
Are we all kicking ourselves for not buying GameStop when it was $350?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to go buy it individually unless I went through my broker.
Yeah, I would have to download Robinhood.
E-Trade.
But then Robinhood would have screwed me, so who knows?
I don't know, and who knows what's gonna happen to them, but let's not speculate, shall we?
Yeah, we're not well versed enough for this topic.
No.
Zach, I think you're up.
Akatsuki Doge?
I mispronounced it last time, that's why I made you try it.
It says cat dog. Favorite Final Fantasies? The correct answer is 9. Moving on. Gamer.
It's a toss up for me, man. I really liked 8 a lot, but 15 was so good.
15 is definitely the runner up. I agree with you.
Final
Fantasy 15, the eternal second best.
I don't know, man. 6.
Yeah,
I'm not done with 6.
15 and 6, and then 7 is in third, followed by 8.
And I'm in the minority of people that really like 13.
I love 13.
I like the music in 13 stood out to me a great deal.
Still has the best Final Fantasy combat system.
Oh man, that paradigm shift thing.
Yeah, that is so
still clever.
Great. The fact it has not been copied in another Final Fantasy is unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I had to say like an all-time favorite though, man. It's really hard to argue against 15. I really like 15 a lot.
It's incredible. It's also, it tricks you. It tricks you to thinking it's going to be a fun adventure. And it is not.
And then it has that weird chapter 12. You remember? Is that where you get stripped of everything?
I played it too late, so I played the better version of it.
Oh, really? I don't even know what they did differently.
They have you play as the other characters who meet up with him.
Okay.
During the same time.
Man,
so I did not have to play the stealth section.
I even took down the Admantus.
Oh, really?
That giant like mountain that looks shaped like a turtle.
Yeah, and I never did do that. I played all the DLC. And I was quite disappointed when they canceled that second batch of DLC. But I never did do the turtle. I should go back to it.
They were just cool characters, man. I even loved going through. Remember that one dude in the town that had like you go collect pictures for him, whatever?
Yeah, the guy who looked like Hurley from Lost.
Yes, he did. I did all that. I even did the stupid fishing mini games just to get the achievement for that.
Oh, wow.
I used to even just like sit and like when I would drive from places to places, I would put on the Final Fantasy soundtracks from like 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah.
And then just let it drive itself and I'd earn XP and then just sit back and I don't know.
It was relaxing.
It was.
I just kept getting my gas filled up.
Sid, was it Sydney? Or did she go by Sid?
She went by Sid, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, 15 for me, I think is going to take it. I know it's. I feel always cheap picking the newest one because the technology is better, but it was so good.
That's a dumb rule to invent for yourself. I
know. I just, I feel like not the opposite of a hipster.
Well, I
when I
mean,
always
it
pick
came
the
out in
new one.
2016, right? So it's been a while.
Well, yeah, we haven't had another Final Fantasy since. Although the new one
It's
lives
half a decade.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Well,
Yeah, which is also up there for me.
also not to be confused with Final Fantasy 14, right, Zach?
What about Final Fantasy 14?
When you made fun of me for not knowing my Roman numerals. on
Oh,
Twitter.
yes, I did. You're a
Wow.
teacher. I had to call you out for these things.
Well, it was yeah. I have no excuse. I misplayed. I didn't see the I.
Fair enough.
All right,
Um,
CB.
GamerDad03, has Netflix given us hope that video game movie show adaptations can be done right? And follow up with that, could we see a new version of Resident Evil series be made with the current direction they are going in the gaming world?
You know, we did
yes.
not talk about in the news the Tomb Raider anime
That's true.
coming to Netflix.
And that was going to be my point in response to this question. Is I feel like their response or their giving us hope is all animated stuff outside of The Witcher, which was live.
Correct. Well, that was technically based on the books.
But
Right.
they're saying, has Netflix overall given us hope in the industry?
I don't
because-
have a lot of hope in the industry right now.
I don't know, man. That new Mortal Kombat looks pretty glorious.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I am in the rare camp that I've never lost hope that video game adaptations would be done right. I enjoy most of them more than the average bear, but like movies like even the first Mortal Kombat is a great movie.
The second one wasn't, but the first one
the
was
second one is one of the worst movies I've
solid.
ever seen in my entire life. But the first one is incredible.
Yeah, the first one was fun. The new one looks really fun.
It looks like-
I can't wait.
Or even they had that Mortal Kombat YouTube show that was really good.
Legends.
I think it was Legacies.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that there are some really bad movie adaptations, but there are a lot of good ones too, and they just don't get enough credit.
Silent Hill was probably my favorite.
Also great. The first Resident Evil was very good.
Yeah.
Probably has aged poorly, I imagine.
I just
Uh,
remember being disappointed with what they did with the mansion. Like it just didn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an AI or whatever that was like over. I don't know.
But you are right. Everything's going animated. It was. I was very excited that Netflix was doing a Tomb Raider thing, but I was kind of weirded out that it takes place after the reboot games, so it is canon to those, but it is like an anime adaptation. It seems a little weird.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's cheaper.
It must be because Castlevania I get because that would be a hella expensive show, but an Indiana Jones style adventure doesn't seem like it would be the priciest show in the world.
Until you build big set pieces.
Yeah, but you don't have to.
Especially with Uncharted coming out as a movie.
But they have it. They have
Okay.
the Tomb Raider sequel coming out.
Right.
That's at some point in time.
I'm just saying you could have done a weekly adventure kind of show. Not
I could
everything has to
see-
revolutionize the freaking industry.
I could see that becoming a regular thing, though. Remember that? What was the Vin Diesel one that we watched during the Game Awards?
Arc 2?
Was it Arc? And like I
Yeah.
could see them doing stuff like that, where there's going to be because they announced like a bunch of TV show stuff
Yeah, an animated series.
alongside that. I could see that being a thing. Because you know who wants that? Not kids.
I
But-
guess animated allows you an easy opportunity to slot things into the canon, and people care so much about continuity. Like they're doing a new Resident Evil thing for Netflix, and it takes place within a specific time period.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can do that with animated stuff more easily.
Right. I don't know. Resident Evil, even the games started getting silly, plot wise. Pretty early
Every
on.
animated Resident Evil movie I've seen has been great.
That's true.
Yeah, the animated ones are pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than they have any gosh darn right to be.
I would rather see a reboot of like the original, like Resident Evil. Like do that one right.
I would love
Make it the mansion without the freaking little girl AI.
a live action Resident Evil show where every season is the plot of a game. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, dude. Like make that happen.
Right? Like it, just slot Leon into the mansion somehow and you have a recipe for success.
The problem is that they're so worried about surprising the audience with something plot wise.
Yeah.
We don't care. We're perfectly happy not being surprised. We just want to see the stuff that we've been watching or playing.
I mean, to your example, The Mandalorian was the least surprising show I think we've ever watched. And it was an absolute delight.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think, like, with a series like Resident Evil, you don't need to surprise us. Like, we just want to see, like, a live-action version of that game that's not a pixelated nightmare.
Yeah.
Right. Just want to see a liquor not look stupid.
Yes. or the Tyrant just look awesome.
It's hard to not make the Tyrant look silly.
But the liquor is a genuinely creepy design, and those movies did not do enough with them.
No. And those dogs in the first movie look like they had ketchup on them. Like, for real.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, last one. Also comes from La Lamer Waffle, or how do we say that? La Lamer Waffle? How do we pronounce it?
La Lamer
Waffle.
La Lamer Waffle?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Favorite minor character from a game. Favorite video game cliche. Least favorite. He says, I know I ask a bunch of questions, so ignore as many of mine as you all want. What's your favorite minor character in a game? I'm going to start. GLaDOS? Oh, that's really good.
She's not minor?
Yeah, she's the
in
only
Portal
character.
2,
That's absurd.
in Portal 2, she is a minor character.
That is not even anywhere close to
No.
You say minor character, I'm thinking the merchant from Resident Evil.
There you go.
You know, that's a tiny character. I'm just
Can I
saying
say
GLaDOS
Johnson? Can I say Johnson from...
also Portal?
Oh, God, no. What's the Garcia Hotspur game?
Man,
The Suda51 game.
Yeah, Shadows of the Dam. You're talking about Hotspur.
Shadows of the Dam.
The sidekick who's with you the whole game.
Yeah, he's a side character. He's not the main character.
You guys aren't thinking small enough.
Okay, Carmine.
There you
Carmine.
go. I'd give you Yeah, Carmine's definitely a side character. And dies in every one of them, which is awesome.
Love Carmine.
What's yours, Zach?
I don't. I've always had an affinity for that carpenter who laughs at you in Ocarina of Time. Do you know who I'm talking about? Like the big belly laugh guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you know exactly what I'm talking about. See that? I think it's a minor character. I think of that dude.
The music box guy.
Oh, he's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you consider the Portal turrets minor characters?
God. What? You just want a Portal character to be...
I love Portal, man.
Squeeze Portal in here no matter what it takes.
No, that's not a character, though.
Actually, okay, I can think of one minor Portal character.
Okay.
The Animal King.
The Animal King?
Oh, the guy, yeah.
That is a minor character.
Sure. You got a comic
They reference it once.
I still agree with you.
It's one of the Portal turrets, but it's dressed up in a, like, animal print with a crown on it, and you see it in one scene.
He really is desperate to get some Valve some love in this question.
Apparently.
Well, no one else, even Valve, gives themselves love.
Yeah, that's true. Certainly not 3 degrees of it.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Well,
that was our episode. That was quite a slew of questions we had there. Stay tuned next week for our next topic, which we will post on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. That is going to do it for this episode, though. Zach, any parting words before we get out of here?
Oh, man. I don't think... I mean, read comics, of course. Watch WandaVision, but I guess everyone's doing that already. That show...
We promise we won't spoil it.
Yeah. It is a show that will live or die in its ending, so I'm hoping it doesn't go full MCU. It's gonna be what I said off air earlier. Yeah, you watch. CB, what about you?
In honor of the trailer that just came out the other day, I am rewatching all of the Godzilla movies.
I just watched Godzilla 2014 for the first time.
Oh, the Gareth Edwards.
I thought it was solid.
It's not bad.
Yeah, people get a thing a bad rap. Aaron Taylor Johnson looks like a thumb the whole movie, and that's kind of distracting.
Okay,
but otherwise, I thought it was pretty solid.
There needed to be more big monster shots.
Is that the one with Bryan Cranston?
Yes.
Yeah. Correct. Well, briefly, but yes.
I'm not a big Godzilla guy. This trailer looks rad as hell. I don't know if it's the music or whatever, but
it looks dumb. In
In
the
a good
best
way, though.
in the best
Your
way.
mouth.
In the best way. The super serious way that Alexander Skarsgård looks at the camera and says, "We need Kong," is hilarious. And that's okay.
Those, I was about to say Godzilla movies were never meant to be serious.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I appreciate that because I watching that Godzilla 2014, it is very serious the whole time. I like that this Kong versus Godzilla is like, yeah, we know that this is a ridiculous thing to put on screen.
Just big, dumb kaiju fun.
That's what I want. Yeah, that's not dumb. Doesn't have to be bad, guys.
But yeah,
I agree.
I'm rewatching all of them. The Toho,
never-
the Millennium films.
I've never seen any of those. Are those
Oh
like
my-
a dude in a rubber suit?
Yeah.
I've-
Up until like 1999.
Oh, the 1998 one with Matthew Broderick. Now that was a movie.
That is not Godzilla.
It says Godzilla
That
right
is-
on the box.
That has been retconned. That is actually, that character is in the Godzilla universe now, but it's just called Zilla. It is not Godzilla.
But the movie's called
Goodness.
Godzilla. I'm not wrong, right?
Oh, it's
Isn't that the one where
wrong.
the helicopters are saying they can't shake him? And they
Yes.
just go up? Like,
Yeah.
That movie, I don't care, man. I watched that movie when I was a kid a bunch, and I love that thing.
oh, I was in high school when it came out. I had the soundtrack
That's awesome.
where Puff Daddy did that weird version of Kashmir.
I
Yes.
guess I could see why Godzilla fans would hate that movie, but I thought it was fun.
Wasn't Jean Reno in that
Jean
movie
Reno,
too?
yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was in it.
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, he
And
had
it's
like
been
an
a-
emotional connection to Godzilla.
And Siskel and Ebert are both in it as well.
Oh, really?
They're the mayors of New York.
That's awesome.
Man, it's been a... Now, man, we need to rewatch that, CB.
I'm always down to watch any
Add-
kaiju movie.
Add that to our summer list of things to do with the Gaming Outsider.
Will do.
As for me, I don't have much to add other than word of advice. Listen to your friends and be careful who you trust. That's what I will say. Thanks so much for everybody for listening. The Gaming Outsider is produced by Nate Lucas, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zack Parkerson and Chris Berensmeyer, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.